So let me now explain the difference, because I said when you are doing multiple conditioning, you need to use either actually or stroke and. So I want to explain the difference between the two. I want to explain the difference between the two so that you understand. Going forward, you understand what is happening. So let's start with the AND operator. So in Python, you can either write the AND in full, or just use what, this sign. How do we call this sign? Ampersand. Yes. Use any of these to indicate your AND operator. Therefore, let me give the example. So I want this output. I have a true value and a true value. Then another scenario is that I have a true and a false. Another one is that I have a scenario of now false, true. Yes. So yes. Hope you can see my code clearly. Let me just try to increase this. Yes. So this one is okay. So I want to explain the output of these values. I want to explain the output of these values. I want to explain the output of these values. So let's see, you have a scenario, and then that scenario has, in one of your condition, has a true value, and then in the other condition has a true what? Also a true value. What I mean is this one. Let's say maybe we have x. You have x, which is same as to 5, and then we have y, same as to what? Maybe 10. So let me cut this one, come here, down here. So I'm trying to explain the multiple condition. So let's say maybe I want my values to be less than actually. So I'm saying the first condition is that x should be what? Should be less than 5. Another one, and y should be now less than 10. Okay, so this is what I'm meaning. The x is less than 5. Is it true? Let me change this value so that I can give the 11. Yes. So this is what I mean. I'm writing a logical condition with multiple condition, a logical expression with multiple condition, such that my condition is my x should be less than 6 and my y should be what? Less than 11. So in this case, this this what? This statement, the first statement of mine, is it true or false?
It's true.
True.
Yes. And the second statement of mine, is it true or false?
True.
Yes. So that's why I'm writing print true values. So I want to see if I print true values, what do I get from my AND operator? I'll get my true values. It means only, so this only those values, those x and y which are less than what, 6 and y, they will be what outputted. So I'm just imagining maybe my values of x, they are more than one, maybe they are in a list. Okay, so if we have several multiple values of x and then several multiple values of y, now my condition will only, my AND operator will only output the true values if those two conditions are true. So let me include the others. So let's include the others. If you run this one, you can see the first one we said is true. Now if we have a true, one of the condition is true and then the other condition maybe here we change to 10. If we change to 10, it means the y will be what? Will be false. So if we have true and false, we will get false value. If we have false and true, we will get false value. So it's only true for AND operator. It's only true when the both statements are met. Both statements are what? Are met. So that's what I want to you for like you understand it that way. When you are using AND operator, it means both statements has to be true. Yes. Another one is the actually OR operator. OR operator. So let me copy this one and then I paste this one. So I'll just use OR. Use OR. So let's output this. So you can see when we have true, the result is same as what? True. When we have true, false, the result is same as what? No, here I did not include the last one. The last one, yeah, this one. So let me also run this one so you can see. The others are false, only true when we have true for AND operator. Then this one, let's also include that one. That's false. Yes. So you can see when we have true and true for OR, it is same as true. When we have true or false, is same as true. When we have false or true, same as true. So we only have false when both conditions are what? Are not met. That's how you interpret the OR operator. Is there a question? Yes, there is no question. So you understand it that way. Now let's go to today's business. So I've said I'm actually going to use the actual datasets, and then we try to do what we are trying to do yesterday, but now with the actual dataset. Let me go to my watch. Yes, so this is my watch. So those one who is wondering what I'm using, this is a GitHub repository. So this one is a platform where you can actually upload projects. You can upload your projects, and then yes, you can share. So in case you are interested, you can just create an account and then create a repository, and then you upload your files, you upload your project. So we said we agreed that the first thing to do is you import your pandas. You import your pandas, then as PD. And then the
Do
next
you
thing.
have to import it again if you already did
No,
like yesterday?
if you have imported the pandas once in that particular file, you see. Yes. So this it it's actually like, so if I cancel this file of mine and then I open a VS Code, I need to import that module. Yes. So, but if you have imported the module and you have not gone to the other whatever other files or other tabs, then it means your module is active. You don't need to import. But it's good actually to import because it doesn't take you a lot of times to do that. And if you have not imported, you get just an error. You get an error, and then you will just realize that you need to what? To use the mode. So the first thing, once you have data, the first thing you do, you import the necessary modules. Okay. So mine I've imported actually pandas and number. And then uh, uh, the next thing is to import now your data. Okay. Now you are not creating. Yesterday we were just here. We just created the data frame and then from a dictionary. So in this case, maybe the data is ready. You only need to import the data. So what you do, you use the following commands. So you write the name of your data. Okay. Let me just, before I write the name, let me just use the general way. So you would use pd dot read command. So this is the command you use to actually uh, 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 actually what uh, 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 like you want to upload your data into the Jupyter notebook. So it's pd.read, and then now you know that we have different formats of data. We have different formats of data. We have different formats of data. So we have CSV, we have Excel format, we have so many. Okay, we have a SQL. So there are so many file formats. Okay, yes. So there are so many file formats. So it depends on what project you are you are actually working on. So let's say you have your what? You have your CSV file. So what you do, you write bd.cs.read CSV this way, and then inside your that command, you actually inside the directory of the file with the end of the file extension. Let me talk briefly about the file extension so that you can actually see what I'm trying to explain. So let me see for some files. So If you look at this one, it looks like an exact, but that's not good. Actually, enough information to confirm if it's an exact file. So I'll just double click the right click this file, check the properties. I see the file extension. So for all exact files, they have an extension of what? .xlsx. Yes, I've said all exact files, they have an extension of this one. Okay. Then let's see another one. Maybe which one is the one looks different. The properties. So this one is also an exact file. Let me check this one. Yes. So this one, it looks as an exact file, but if you look at the file extension is this one. It's what? .csv. So that's a complete different file. So when you want to read a CSV, you say bd.read CSV, and then inside CSV you give the name of or the directory of your file. Directory of your file, let's say. But the easiest way is to copy your data into your working directory so that you only need to write the name of the formula. Maybe it is data.csv. I'm assuming that I have that data in my directory. So you see, you just write the directory of the file, and then you end with what? .csv. .csv, this is the file extension of that file. Yes. So this is how you read a CSV file. Let me try a different file. So let's see pd dot read. Actually, let's say maybe it's an exe file. So if I'm trying to read an exe file, this is what I do. I write the same bd.read exe, and then inside the exe I write the name of that exe file, and then with the file extension we said all exe files, but you need to confirm whether is it exe or csv, because by looking they actually look the same. So you need to go and confirm whether is it a cs file or an exe file. So yes, let's try to see another maybe.
A question.
Yes,
If you had like two files, is
yes.
it possible to pick both of them at the same time, or you'll have to
No.
write separate statements?
So you will just actually read the files separately. So they will have two data frames, and then you now use actually I don't know if we will manage that one. We will try to, let me just explain that one maybe for you. So let's create a df same as to a df is same as to pd dot read bd no bd dot data frame. Let me just create a symbol two data frames, and then I try to combine them so that you see how to answer the equation. So df dot then that bd dot that frame. Inside this one I want to use my np now, np dot, yes, random. So I want to create this and then I want to create the columns same as to let me just do this one. So I've created a df1, you can see that is it. Then I want to create another df1, df2. Maybe this is df1. Just name this df1, and then I want to put df1, and then here I want to create another df2, which is same as pd dot data frame. And then I want to use the same np dot random. Yes. So let me just try to. So let me display my df2. So you see we have two data frames. So I'm answering that question that if you have two data sets and then you want to what? You want to actually all of them maybe to use. Maybe you want to combine. And then I've said there is no method of combining those data set when you are reading, so that you read as a one file. So what you do, you just read. For example, we assume this one we are reading a data from actually my local machine, that's dev1, and then I read another, the second data, and then now I can what, I can combine those data. So what I do, I just use the joining. Okay, I use the joining. So what I do is I just get df3 same as df def1 dot actually, let me use concat df2. Yes, I'm actually having an error. So bd dot concat. So just a moment. bd dot con. Yes, this one. So actually same as z. Yes, so let me try to display my df3. If I display my df3, you can see now I am able to combine my data. So my data, let me just display the columns. Columns. This data, you can see now my data contain the first columns. The one I created is require. They have actually small data, that's to J, and then I have joined them with the other. So that's how you do. Hopefully now I have answered your question. Okay. So there are other methods you can use to join your data sets after you have converted them into data frames. So you can actually use the merge. You can also use the join. You can also, so we never discuss those methods, but they are in your notes. They are in your notes. So I have answered your question. Okay.
Yes, yes, you have. Yes, you have. Thank you.
So uh, mhm, where were we? So I said we are reading the files. We actually try to read the files. I said if you are reading an Excel file, you use bd.read.exec. If you are using a CSV file, you use bd.read CSV, and then you can also have different file types of files. Maybe it is a SQL file. So let's try to see how to read a SQL file. So bd.read. So if you want to use to actually read your your SQL file, what to do, use these methods. So once you are working with different types of data, you will realize how to read that data. Okay, but if you are yes, so also, okay, I forget one thing also. You can read the data from online. From online, what I mean, if you have a link of data, for example, my actually today's work will be reading data from online. So if I go to this link, I can see this link as what? Data. Okay, this link has data. So if I want to read this data, what I do, I just copy the link, and then once I copy, I just come here and then say my df, my data, sorry, data same as pd dot read. Now because I'm not sure whether it is a CSV file or the exec file, so I use read table. I use read table method. Then inside read table, I just copy my actually link. Just paste this link there. So if I run this one, my data will be what? Loaded, and then I try to output my data. Yes. So for now, just know how to read data from online using the read table method, and then how to read now data from your either local machine. If your data, you have stored data in your local machine, how to read the exact file data and then the CSV file data. So those ones are enough. And then the more you proceed, the more you realize you can read any type of the file you have. So that one is okay. So let's start today. So we will actually do what we tried to do yesterday, but with what? With the actual data, instead of trying to create a data that maybe probably will not fit all the concepts we are trying to explain. So the first data to read, let me just copy these links into WhatsApp so that you can access them. Yes, let me try to copy them. So we have the orders, and then let me see another one. We have these users, the movie users. So just copying them so that you can access them. Hopefully you are doing, you will just do the way the way I'm at. You have also UFO fight. Yes, I will do UFO fights. I think, do I have another one? Let me see. Uh, uh, I think those are the three main ones. In case I found a new one, I will just update the links. So let's start with this link of orders data. Orders data. So what I do, just go here and then I give the name of the of the data frame, that's orders, and then I say pd dot read. I've said we use read table because we are accessing from online, and then here read table I insert my data. Yes, you can see. So let me try to run this one. Yes, let me try to output. So when you try to see some of the observation of the data, what you do, you use actually add or the tailed methods. So if I'm using order, that's the name of the data frame, and then I say dot add, it means I want to fill the first 5 rows from the upwards from index 0. So if I want to fill some of the rows from the last index, what I do, I just write order, the name of that data frame, and then dot state. State will actually output my elements from the last element, the last index. So the last index is 42, 46 to 1. Okay, so it means my data is from 0 to 46 to 1. Okay, so how many rows do we have in that data set? How many rows do we have in that data set? I've sent the rings. Just do the same. Do what I've done, and then yeah, someone said 4622. That's it, because you are starting from 0, so it means you are what? Adding the last one by 1. Yes. So is there anyone having a problem in reading those data? In those the data we have already uploaded? Is there anyone having a problem? Yes, if you have a problem, communicate, because this is very important. It's very important to communicate. So I'm assuming you are all able to read your data. You are all able to read your data. Okay. Yes. So I'm actually those who are trying to.
No, how I have questions.
Yes.
Yes. How are you getting the links from WhatsApp?
I've sent the links for data in the groups. These are the links. Can you see the WhatsApp of mine? So I've sent these links. You only need to copy and then paste them inside those actually brackets. Yes, I've sent the links. They are in WhatsApp.
Um,
Mhm.
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's try to read the UFO reports. The UFO reports. The UFO reports. Uh, what is it? Actually, come here. So we want to read the UFO reports. So we give the name of that data frame, that's UFO is equals to pd dot read. We say tempo, and then inside the table we insert, we actually paste our link. Yes. So let me run this one. Let me try to output the UFO. Oh. Yes. So you can see my data. You can see my data. Now I want to explain something. So if you see my output, actually you can see the city, the color, the reported shape, and then yes. So my data actually, uh, let me check the shape of my data. See how many the rows and columns I have. So what I do, I just write U4 the shape, and then it will give me the I'm trying to explain something here. This is how I try to read this data, and then I'm trying to view the first 5 rows. But using this one, you can see from mine actually I can see that this data has been what imported as only one column. In the case was to import this data with the following columns: city, color, reported, shape. So those should be the names of the columns. Then to confirm that, if I run the shape the shape function will output the number of rows and then columns. So these are the number of the first 18241 is the number of rows. And then look at now the number of columns is given as what? As 1. And that should not be the case. So what I do here, so before I read this data, I'll just actually specify my separator. So let's just go under this. Let's go online and view the data. So you can see my data has been what? Is being separated by the comma. The city separated, comma, from the colors reported, comma, yes. So now I did not say, actually I did not specify the separator. That's why I'm having the data being read as one column. So let me specify the separator. So separator same as 2. Separator in this case we found it's what? A comma. So let's run this one. Yes, let's run the. Now you can see my data being structured in what? In those columns. So you can see the city column, the color reported column, the shape reported column. If I run the shape function, you can see now I have my number of rows, and then I have my number of columns as 5. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5. Yes. Before we actually before we go further, let me explain something. Yes. So yesterday we said we have 2 methods of accessing the columns. Okay, the specific columns. Yes. So I said you can use df and then curly brackets, and then you specify the name of the column. Maybe in this case it is what? Colors reported.
Okay.
Yes. If you have a question, just ask.
Before you continue, could you please repeat how you separated the?
So I've said this. If I just remove the separator, because if you look this one, the first one, I did not place the separator, because when I tried to read, the data was actually formatted correctly. It means now I have the columns of mine and then the rows of mine. So it means you have read my data correctly. But if now you come to this case, just let me remove this separator, because this is how you are supposed to, by default, this is how you are supposed to read the data from online. But if I run this one, yes, and I try to run now the head of, I want to fill some of the rows of that data. I see now my data being what? Read as one column. You can see these are not now they are just these names of the columns are now in what? In one column. To confirm that one, I just run the shape of that data frame, and then I will see my shape as what? These are the number of rows 18241, and then the number of columns as 1. Then I've explained that the reason why, because if we go to fill the data online, we can see the data is being separated there by the commas, city, commas, and then yes, and you continue. So now you come back here. When you are reading data, you only need to specify your separator. So you just put a comma. Once actually once you have you have you have what? You have run, you have put your link. So you just add another parameter being separated by a comma, and then say separator. Just name, you just write the sep, and then specify your separator. Now you just go put a quotation marks inside the quotation marks, you specify. In this case it's a comma. Yes, so if I run this one and then I try to run the uf dot add method, I will now see my what? My columns have been what? Put in the correct format. If I run the shape, to change the number of columns to 5, from 1 to 5. Yes. So, yes. So, I want to explain something. I saw something here and then I want to clarify. Okay. So, I've said yesterday, we said if you want to access specific number of the column, what you do, you just write the name of the data frame. In this case it's u4, so u4, and then I place my square bracket inside square bracket and specify the name of the column. So this is the name of the column I'm trying to access. So let me run this one. Yes, so let me just cancel this one. I copy this the way it is. I paste here. Let me try to run that one again. Yes, so my actually my column as what? As been accessed successfully. So now the other way to access this is to use ufo, and then you use the dot method, dot, and then you specify the name of what? Of the column. In this case, let me try city. You see, my city has been what? My city column has been accessed successfully. Okay. So now I want to explain actually something here, very important. So let's try to actually access this column using the dot what method. Yes, so let me copy this. Yes, and then come here, say UFO dot this. Now if I try to run this one, it gives me an error. So we said that this method of ours, this one, when you are creating a new column, you must use what? This method, not this one. And another case where you are supposed to use this method only is when you are trying to access columns with the names being separated with a what? A space. If you can see here, colors, the name, the column colors reported, we have the colors name, and then we have a space, then we have a reported. So if you try to use a dot method, you will actually have an error. You will have an error. So you must use the other method to do the accessing. So that's clear now. So that one is clear. Let's do another thing. So I've accessed the UFO. Yes, so you can do the accessing, the accessibility, then for those who did not understand, for those who did not understand, how to create a new column, I want to repeat using the UFO dot what? UFO data. So let's see the column named city, and then we have another column named what? Type. State. Yes. So what if I want this city and state to be what? In one column. So what I do, I'll write my expression. I'll write my UFO for the first form, for the first what? For the first. Okay. So I'll get my expression for the first first what? First actually first column, that is city. So what I want is the UFO dot city. I want to add it, and then I want to give a separator. Before I do this, let me just use a very simple example for you to understand what I would be doing the next. So let's say we have x same as to 10, and then we have y same as to. So I want to print, and then inside here result. Yes, I want to print this one. Oh, let me change this. Let me change this into a string value. Let me change this one to a string value. So my x same as arrow, and then the y same as word. So I want to print this one. So if I want to combine this so that the result is arrow word, what I do, I just write there this one to be actually printed out, and then I'll request it to what? So it will read result is arrow word. Okay, you can see my arrow word. Okay, so what if I want this to be separated to be separated maybe with a space, what I do, I just say this plus, I separate a space, I put a space inside this one, and then I add y. Let's this so my error word would what we separated using what, a space. What if I don't want a space, I want actually a comma. So my error word will be separated by a comma. So this is what we are going to do next. We want to combine the city column and then the what, the state column, and then separate those values with what, a comma, such that it will be read the first row will read Ithaca, comma, and then ny. Let me do that. So UFO dot city UFO dot city plus, now I don't want a space, I want a comma, UFO dot state. So this one, this information I want to be put in a new column. So let me define the name of the column. It's UFO, the name of that data frame, and then I put the square brackets. Square brackets. I put the quotation marks, and then I define the name of my new column. Let me just write the location. Yes. So if I run this code of mine, I will create a new column here called location, and then the location will contain the following values. The first row, it will have Ithaca, comma, ny, and then the second row will be wearing, Boro, and then nj. So let me run this one. Let me try to see now my updated data frame. So if you can see this, yes, you can see I have created a new column called location. It is here, and then the values have been what, joined from the city, that's Ithaca, and then the state ny. The process continues for the all rows. So are you able
Kindly
to
show
do
your screen up there.
what? Oh, you want to write the code?
Yes.
Go ahead. Yes. So let me go to the next thing. So this is how you create a column. And then I clarified, I said, so another way of writing this one is just to remove this instead of the city. Instead of the city, you put this square brackets. But this one is, I use the dot because my columns for city, they are not what? They are not joined with any space. That's why I use the dot method. It's actually, if I was using this row, these columns, the colors reported and the shape reported, it would be a different scenario, because now I had to use the what? The square bracket method. Yes, so I think that is clear. That's very clear.
Excuse me.
Yes, just go ahead.
Could you just please illustrate using the one for square,
So this is how you do it.
where you use the square
Okay,
brackets?
okay. So this is how you do it. The name of the form, the just let me start from the same way I explained this one. So what you do, just write this expression. Only this expression will change. So it means it's UFO, and then UFO, you write the square brackets. Inside square brackets, you write the name of that column that is sitting, and then you come here, you say you want to add, and then you want to put a separator with a comma, and then you want to add with another column called UFO. Uh-huh. Uh, that square brackets, and then this one, and then state. Yes. So, and then you just give the name of your new column. This one. Let me just copy. So this is how the process. Uh, that's how the other method works. Yes. So if I run this one, just get the same result. If I run this one, I'll get the same result. So that's okay. So let's move the next thing. I want to use a different data set. That's a movies data set. Let me copy the link. I want to copy this link, and then I want to read data. So what I do, just give the name of my data or data frame movies, same as to bd.read table, and then inside these brackets I put the link. So let me try to run this one, and then let me try to fill some of these rows. If I try to run this one, I get now my, so I'm actually getting the same problem. I get the same problem I was getting for the U4 dataset, because if I try to see the shape of my movies data, I'll get as 97979 rows and then one column. So what I need is to specify the separator here. So separator you can see here is what? Column. So separator same as actually comma. Yeah, so if I run this one, yes, so you can see now my columns. My columns are the star rating, title, content rating, journal, and then duration, then actor list. Yeah. So if I update this one, my columns are what? Are 6. If you want to display the name of the columns, you write this one, movies, both columns. Dot columns, you can see my columns names. Yes. So so we have read data. We want to do the summary statistics. Want to do the summary statistics. So these are just like you want to find the maximum, the minimum, the count value, the mean, the standard, not standard deviation. I don't know if it's and then we have the upper and the lower code type. So what you do, just write the name of that data frame, and then you say dot describe. You have your summary statistics. So if I run this one, I will have my summary statistics. But look at this. How many rows, how many columns do we have? There are 6. But I've only getting the summary statistics for the what? For the 2 columns. So this is how it works. When you run this one, by default, when you are not specifying anything here, it actually finds the the statistics for the columns which are numeric. Columns which are numeric. If you come here, you can see the star rating. How do you check whether they are numeric? You can just run this small program, the movies dot d types. You have all your types so that you see. So you can see star rating is a numeric. The title it's a string, the content rating a string, the genre a string, the duration numeric, and then the object is a what? A string. So the only columns that will actually have the summary statistics is the star rating and the duration. So this is what I get from here. Yes. So you understand that one.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you move up a bit on your code?
Okay. So you need time.
Yes.
So I'm going faster. Is it so?
A bit. Sir, could you send us the link to the?
I've sent the links. All the links they are here in WhatsApp. All the links are here in WhatsApp. These are the links of to data. These are movies. These are orders, and then these are UFO reports. I've sent all the links. So just
Okay,
confirm.
thank you.
Yes. Mine is misbehaving. What is it? Three writer. What is it? What is this?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I think that our movies are different. Your link and the link you've sent us is different.
Let me. Okay. Let me resign the link. Let me resign the link. Let me resign the link. Yes. Is this one? I've resigned the link, and this now it's actually the correct link. Let me try to open. Yes, this one is now the correct link. This is the one which I've sent right now. Where were we? Yes, this one. So I think that one must work. Okay. So so I've just actually written small programs, very small programs that you read this data and then you specify your separator. You come here, you want to fill the shape. The shape will tell you how many rows and columns you have. And then I said now you can access the all the names of the columns using movies.columns. And then I said you use .describe method to do statistics summary. And then I've went ahead and said that actually when you write this one without specifying any of the parameters, it means you will get the statistics for only numerical columns. Yes. So that one must be okay. That one must be actually fantastic. Yes. So now, what if, what if, what if now we want to include other other variables. What we need to include other variables. So what you do, just write the movies. Yeah, someone's asking a question. Let me see. Yes, I've said I've resigned the link. Uh-huh. So let me just fix it. So what you do, the one who assigned that error, actually rerun the code with the link. So what you do for those ones who are having this same error is that you need to run this code when you are trying to upload this one. So if this code is not run successfully because you are accessing data from online, you actually likely to get an error. So make sure your code is run successfully when you are trying to use the online method to access data. Yes. So I've said now what if now you want to include other variables, the non-numeric variables and the numeric variables. So what you do, just write the movies and then dot describe method. So inside the describe method, you can just say that actually include or. So it means now you can see you have the summary statistics for or what or 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 variables or columns. Variables columns are also known as variables. Yes. So you get all the statistics for the columns or the columns. Yeah. What if you only want now? What if you only want to include for only non-numeric? So you just come here and then you specify object. So non-numeric are what? Object type. Yes, if you run this one, you get your summary statistics for non-numeric. That is title, what? Title, and then the content rating and the journal, the characteristic. Those are non-numeric what? Non-numeric columns. So these things I will send the notes. So let me just go ahead and do something else. Now, what if I want to do the renaming? Or I want to do the remaining. Let's use the UFO actually. The UFO dataset. UFO dataset. So to do the renaming, so there are several methods, but let me use the ones which I think they are what more realistic and important. So I want to name these two columns, the colors reported and the shape reported. Why? Because they have a space separating the two words. I want to rename them. So what I do, I can just say that I can say I can say this one. I can say ufo.columns. Remember that command of ours, ufo.columns. Yes, we get the name of those columns. So we can say this one is same as 2. So we can actually create a list. The uf.columns will display the name of the list. So we can use that concept such that we create a list. We create a list. We create this list of ours. New call names is same as 2. We are creating a list of these names, but we want to do the editing now. So we are changing the one we are actually having, and then we will say now my ufo.columns. Remember, my ufo.columns display the list of those columns. So I can just equate to this new list I've created, and I've made changes to those columns. So ufo.columns same as 2 new columns. Let me run this. So let me output my ufo dot add. I see whether my columns have been updated. So this one, it has worked. This method has worked successfully. Do I need to explain that one? So I've said you can rename the columns. You can rename the columns, and then there are several methods. This is not the only method. There are several methods, but I've started with this one. So you actually, in programming, you try to use the one you know, and then to uncover something you don't know. So we know that ufo dot columns will display the column names. Yes. So remember, we want to edit these column names. These column names. Let me just read this. I read this. I just want to explain. I've already written the code. I want to explain for the second time. Yes, I've said if you just run this, just a minute. Yes, if I run this ufo.columns, I see the name of the columns. Now I can do the overwriting. I define, because if you see what is being outputted here is a list. So I can define a list and then do the overwriting. Overwriting means this way. So if we have x is same as 10, you come here and then do and then say y same as 20. Come here and then you now want to overwrite your x. You can say x same as y. So if you do that, you try to output the x, see what happens. Your x was 10. You define your x as 10. And then you define your y as 20. Now you came here, you want to overwrite now. You want to overwrite what? Your x to be the value of y. So if you write, you run now, your x will get updated from 10 to 20. This is the same concept I'm using here. I know that UFO.columns will what? Will get the names of those columns. Now I can define a list. Okay, I can give it a name. Okay, maybe it is list names. And then I come here and then put the values. The values will be this one, but they will be have no spaces for these two columns. These two columns will not now have the spaces. Yes. Then I insert those. I insert the list. I insert the list. And then so if I run this list of mine, if I run this list of mine and then try to output, oh, yes, I run this. I try to output. I can see now my list names. No, I do not actually not edited these columns. Yes, I can now see my list being updated with the correct naming of those columns. Now I can do the overwriting. The same way I did X same as to Y. I can do there now the overwriting of the UFO dot columns will now equal to the list what names. So if I do this, my actually my UFO columns will get updated automatically. Let me give one way, another way, and then you go and read the notes. So another way of doing this is actually using the function rename. So what you do, just write the name of the data frame, that's UFO dot rename. And then I put what? I put this and I put this. Okay. So I can use the rename function. I just write the UFO dot rename, and then in rename now I divide my dictionaries. So I divide my dictionary in such a way that, but this one is actually quite you take a lot of time. So I can say my city will have what? City, comma, and then another the second column is what? The second column is cars reported. Cars reported. Do I need to divide the other this whatever? Because these things have so many ways to do. If you just understand
I think
one method,
maybe just do one, two or so more, like the colors reported, because I think where you are putting the commas, we need to see the consistency, how it is occurring.
so you need. My question was, do I need to show another way of doing this?
Not quite the same one, but
Which one?
where you have put city.
Yes.
The last method that you are using
So
of
there are
rename.
the difference. So those people were asking, why are we using dictionary? Why are we going to apply the dictionary? So you are applying the dictionary here, the concept of dictionary. Huh? Let me define my dictionary. So my dictionary here will be same as to these curly braces, and then you say your city should remain to the city the way it is, because I'm not changing that one. And then can you now tell me the I need to actually now read this because we have a lot of things to do. That's why I wanted actually maybe if you just so let me just this one so that, and then I will have my UFO dot columns. Yes, columns. Yes. So what I was trying to say is that I'm trying to create a dictionary. The dictionary will what? Will actually look like this one, and then this one should colors reported here should be equal to now colors reported. And then another one is shape reported. Let me copy. So those one who are asking why are we discussing about dictionaries, so you can see the essence of discussing the dictionary. So this one would be equated to actually shape reported. Yes, and then I come this one. They have the state, and then state equals to state, and then uh, time equals to time. The way it is. So if I run this, I run this one of mine, then my dictionary is successful, and then I come here say that the UFO dot rename. Inside the name, I pass my dictionary. That's dict, and then I put this one in place, same as true. So I divide the use of the embrace. So if I run the UFO, I get my names, my columns are being what? Updated. Just a moment, Let me see. So just a moment. Read this and then so is it the city so deliver the remain name in place. Yes, so why I'm having the same thing? I am expecting a different result. What is it? Run this. Run that one. Uh-huh. No. that rename. So why I'm having a problem here? Why am I having the problem? Oh, I see. I never divine this. Actually, we have columns so that it can do the override. Now I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't. Yeah. So yeah, my actually values have been updated. So that's how you do it. You just need to define your dictionary and then you use the name. The name you specify your new values and then raise them as true. But this one it looks very easy. This one of mine here. This one where you are just defining a list of columns and then you equate your df.column same as to that list. That is very simple than this one. Especially kwa wale watu wenye walikuwa wanaingia.
Excuse me. Sorry. The substituting using the list is giving me an attribute error using the list method.
Yes. Why? Because you said an attribute error.
Yeah, attribute error.
Is it the list one or the second?
The list one. The list one.
Which attribute are you trying to say? How many columns do you define here? There should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then remember to write the columns the correct way. So try to do that change. Yeah, try to do that change. So there are also other methods, but I think the list one is very easy. So tumia list inakuwa rahisi. Najua kuna watu waliepa dictionaries, waliichukia. So now you are true. If you see my true, the true and the false, T starts from is a capital, and then for false, F is a capital. T is a capital. If I was writing the false here, F should be a capital. So that one is okay, I think so. That one should be okay. So there are several methods you can do this, but the list one is very actually easy. Comparing all the methods. Now let's use the same UI4 and then remove some columns and rows. I want to combine that one. So let me just copy this one. I want to copy this one and then come here, paste. And then I want my UI4.8. Yes. Yes. So I want to actually remove some rows. So if you want to remove some rows, what you do, you just come here, def the name of the data, that's UFO, and then use drop, and then inside drop now you specify which columns do you want to remove. Which columns do you want to remove? Yes. Which columns do you want to remove? So the name of the column, just go this way. Give the name of the column as maybe I want time to be removed, and then I specify the axis same as to 1, because I said the columns are in axis 1 and then axis 0 are the what? The rows. And then I write the in place method same as true. So I explained the embracing method. So someone should understand where should you write the embrace and where you are not required to write the embrace. Or do I have to explain it again? Do I have to explain it again? Do I have to explain it again?
Yes.
So this is how it works. Let me first of all correct this. Let me change the let me just explain this error of mine. Why am I having this error? Someone who is sharp, the error is that time is not found in the axis. Why am I having this error? So let me explain that one. If you see, I ran this to what? To upload data, and then I ran this to remove the data. But now I'm running this for the second time. Remember, I am removing for the first time. I'm removing the time column. If I run for the second time, it means this column will not what exist. That's why I'm having an error of the time is not found in access. But if I just run, so to remove the error, you need to run or to read the data, this one, and then you run now your command to work. So this one has worked. So UFO, my UFO.add now, I'm not seeing the what? The time column. So let me explain the embrace, how it works. You can see here I've used the embrace when I want to remove the column. Why? Because the embrace method works as same as the overwriting method. Okay. So if you remember, when you overwrite, your data will get updated. But in this case, I'm not overwriting. So I'm telling my program to make changes because I'm not using the equal sign. You use the equal sign to do the overwriting. Now I'm not using the equal sign for the changes to be made on my data frame. Now I use the in braces same as to true. So that method will make changes to my initial or data. So you can see my initial data was having the time. Now I put the embrace method and then my changes was made such that this column was what? Was removed. So I have a new data with no time column. Yes. Another thing. Now you can actually remove a list of columns. You can remove a list of columns. So what you do, just define your list that you want to be removed. Say remove codes. I want to define this list of mine. Codes is a must do. give the name of the columns I want to be remove them from my data. So remember, these are the columns present. So maybe I don't want city, and then I don't want what? I don't want state. You can define your nini. Remember, the list is that you can give any kind of items. Okay, so if I run this one, I have now my remove core list, remove codes. So if I run this one, I get my list contains city and state. So what I do, I just write the same program for removing columns, that is UFO dot drop, and then inside drop I pass. Now instead of the passing the name of the single name of the column, I just pass the list we have created. So I will pass the remove codes. That's the list I want to be removed, and then I specify the columns and the others remains. So if I try to run the UFO, my list has been what? Updated. I don't have the what? The city and the state columns. Yes. Any question? There's no question. So let me define how to remove the columns. Not the columns, but the what? The actually rows. So let me come to remove the rows.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Can you please give us a minute to process?
Okay. But my advice is that you don't cram these things. The codes are online. If you just copy how to remove columns from a data frame, you'll get a code. What you need to do is to understand the process. What happens if you write this command of yours? So what happens? That is it. So if you have that one in the course of these 2 weeks remaining, you are actually good to go. So don't just cram the codes. Cramming the codes actually is not necessary. The codes are online. So you need to understand the process. What happens when I'm writing this code? Hmm? This function of mine, what it does? Hmm?
Could you please explain the axis part once more?
I've said we have two axes. We have the columns and we have the rows. So the columns they are given as access 1. The rows are given as access 0. If you don't want to write those 1 and 0, you can just say columns. Yes, this one will also work. Is that okay? Just write the full word columns.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this one will work. But to simplify your code, just use the numeric values. Yes. So let me try to write the for the removing the rows. So to remove the rows, you just come UFO, use the same method dot drop, and then inside drop now define your rows. Remember, rows are being what? Indexed. They are referenced by indexing. So you just define your row. Maybe I don't want row 1, and then I come here and then define my access. Now my access will be what? Will be 0 because I'm moving the rows. So if I run this one, I run UFO dot add I will not have my what row 1. You can see here 0, row 1 is not there. Okay, so if I want the range of rows, I define the range. I will define the range, that's UFO dot drop, and then give the range of rows. Now mine would be maybe 4 to 10. I don't want those rows. And then I specify the axis same as to 0, and then I place the axis same as to 0, and then I say the implementation same as true. If I run this one, and then what is happening? Yes, so so this one should actually have this. I think so. So how do you define the range? No, I can use this. I think this one will work. Let me try to run the right one. Does it work? So how do you define the ranges? Let me see. Why is it not working? So it says now this is not found the axis. Oh. So 8 to 10. It's very rare to remove the rows. So just let me define what I do here. Let me try this one, then divine range. Same as range, and then 5. Then the last one should be 10. Then run this one, and then display this one 5 to 10. Okay. So let me try to run the same program UI4 dot drop. Inside drop, I want my range as run, and then let me run this one. I have an error not found the axis. So it means that those, let me try to output my UFO. It means my first program actually worked. No, it did not work. 5 is here.
Before typing the range,
Yes.
before the brackets and the range, try typing the name of the data frame U4, then dot index.
You know that means no. I just wanted to define a range. I just wanted to define a range. That's such the 5. We I put 5 here, program would run. So I wanted to actually 5 not found. So I think this one works, but let me run this. What I do, let me run this one. This one. Uh-huh. I want just to read data and then so you can have your those kind of problems. You just need to know how to solve your problem. So let me go.
A question.
Yes.
When you have deleted one row
Yes.
of data and then you have listed, is it that the data set does not reset? We are used to, like, when we delete a certain row, the whole system moves up, and therefore you really eventually don't experience that there is a missing row. But in your data set, we can see a missing row 1.
Yes, it means I've deleted that row.
So what are these numbers 0, 2, 3, 4 representing?
They are the axes, they are the indexes. If you see here, these are the numbers I'm working with. This one, 0, 2.
Okay.
Yes, those are the
Okay.
numbers. Yes, so I don't know what's happening. I try to read. If you see not found in the axis. Oh, you guys, you cannot remind me that the axis should be 0. Okay. So let me put this run of mine. Yes, now that has worked. So I've moved the range of values from 5 to 10. So if I try to output the UFO, I don't have the UFO dot head, and then divine maybe 10 values here. You see, so I don't have 5 to what? To actually 9. Yes, so that is it. You just divine your range. When you arrange here, and then you actually get those values. So the problem is that you might bring the same thing, and then maybe you don't have the that column, or you don't have that row. So you need to know. That's why I'm rerunning this. I've been running this. So if you just uh, this program of mine of uploading data. So if you just run once and then you are doing operation, then the next operation is being affected with what you did the first. That's why you need to rerun. In case you have errors, rerun your program when you want to upload data. Yes. Is there a question? Any question? Any question? Yes, I think today we will stop there. Tomorrow we will have something else. But now it's for you to go and what? Perfect what we have discussed. Okay? When you go and do the notes I've sent also, they are very important. I try to look at them. They are very actually good. They are explaining the steps very clear. So try them. So I don't want to send this file. I don't want to send mine because
Excuse me.
yes. Go ahead.
Could you please just show where you wrote the code to remove the columns again?
Is this columns or the rows? Columns or the rows? I can simplify this one in case of this run. I can just simplify this one. Do you want me to simplify? Anyway, just use it that way. I think if you put the numbers, it would also work. You put the numbers as 6, 2, 89. And then you put your square bracket. So if you run this, what, this one is not going to work. So just use this method of dividing the range. I will find the why this one is not working. So find just your range using the range method, and then you try to do these things. Yes, I've said I want to stop there, and then I'm saying I'm not sending this file because there are so many actually undone methods or codes. So I will explain them once I finish. Maybe I don't know if I can manage tomorrow, and then I will send the file to you. So there's no need I send you the file and then you don't know what's happened. Let's finish the methods, and then you have your file to review. Yes. So thank you. I want to actually close the meeting. Let's meet tomorrow.